spring commencement ceremony. Today's music is provided by the Circle Brass Quintet under the direction of Michael Hogue. This commencement brings together members of the University of Illinois Chicago family, students, college administration, faculty, staff members, relatives, alumni, and friends. Before we begin today's ceremony, to assure that everyone enjoys a meaningful event, would you please take a moment to now turn off and mute any electronic devices that may detract from the ceremony. Thank you. At this time, I present to you the administration of the University of Illinois at Chicago and of the College of Urban Planning and Public Affairs. I now present to you members of our distinguished faculty. Everyone, please rise as you are able and join us in singing the national anthem led by Anna Jacobson. Gentlemen, please remove your caps.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the
Thank you, Anna. In the spirit of building a better future and healing, I'd like to take a few moments to acknowledge that the UIC resides on the traditional territories of the Three Fires people, Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi. This area was also a site of trade, gathering, and healing for more than a dozen other Native tribes. What's more, the state of Illinois is currently home to more than 75,000 tribal members, and the Chicagoland area is currently home to one of the largest and most diverse urban Native communities in the U.S. We recognize that Indigenous peoples are the traditional stewards of the land that we now occupy. Living here long before Chicago was a city and thriving here today. As we work together today in these territories and the years ahead, we must remember our responsibility, especially as a land-grant institution, as an Asian American, Native American, Pacific Islander serving institution, as a Hispanic serving institution, and as a minority serving institution, to find ways to right the historic wrongs of colonization and state violence, and to build bridges and support Indigenous community struggles for self-determination and sovereignty. I would now like to introduce Dr. Stacy Swearengin-White, Dean of the College of Urban Planning and Public Affairs. And Dean Swearengin-White joined the college as its 8th dean on July 1st, 2022, coming from University of Kansas. At KU, she most recently served as director of the KU School of Public Affairs and Administration. Dean Swearengin-White's research focuses on sustainability innovation at the local level, including an emphasis on water quality and campus sustainability. She has also contributed to recent work on the role of emotions in planning. She received a BA in philosophy from Emory University, an MS in environmental studies from the University of Montana, and a PhD in land resources from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Please welcome Dean Swearengin-White.
Thank you, Kurt, and good afternoon. This is my first time getting to do this, so I hope you'll indulge me in taking a photo of all of you. Would that be okay? Okay, and I'm doing the pano, which I'm really bad at, so just indulge me for just a second. Okay, here we go. Oh, looking good. Awesome. Thank you. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration of UIC, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the 2023 College of Urban Planning and Public Affairs Commencement Ceremony. So graduates, this is your day, right? This is about you and celebrating your accomplishments. And before we get to that, let's spend just a minute of gratitude for those who helped you get here. So if you graduates, if you look around right now and look at who's here with you, your parents, your spouses, children's, partners, family, friends, everyone here is really eager to help you celebrate today and congratulate you on your success. Your achievements are really a tribute to all of them, to the people of the state of Illinois, the University of Illinois System, UIC, and CUPPA. We really gratefully acknowledge the guidance and support that they have given you on your journey here today. So graduates, if you could, please join us in thanking everyone who did help you get here today, whether they're here in person or not, and all of whom are sharing in your joy and excitement. Fantastic. Also here today are many of CUPPA's scholar teachers, staff, and alumni who've also been instrumental in helping guide you on your paths of discovery. I especially want to acknowledge the crucial role of your faculty mentors in guiding you, so let's thank them as well. We also have several special guests with us today. Dr. Karen Colley, Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Dr. Jamie Haney, Assistant Dean of the Graduate College, and our guest speaker and Cuppa alum, Gia Biaggi, City of Chicago Commissioner for Transportation. And we have our Cuppa Alumni Association Board President and MUP alumnus, Michael Sewell. So thank you all for joining us in our celebration. I want to take just a minute to recognize our commencement marshal, Dr. Kurt Winkle, and thank him for his assistance with our ceremony today. So Kurt, as some of you may know, will be retiring at the end of this year after 37 years of service to UIC, to our college, and to our urban planning and policy department. Kurt's kindness and creativity, his constant willingness to help when called upon, which was often, I think I've asked Kurt approximately 4 million questions this year. We will really miss him. So we send Kurt off today with our deep gratitude and very best wishes for his next adventures. And then I'd also like to recognize Cuppa Associate Dean Kathleen Engstrom, who will be retiring from UIC this August. Kathleen has been at UIC for over 20 years and with Cuppa for the last 8 of those. Students, I don't think any of you were here when our Cuppa Hall almost fell over. That's the story for another day. But you have benefited from Kathleen's hard work in making sure we had good space to return to and a good environment overall. Kathleen has helped us in so many ways, both visible and not, and we are indebted to her for her service. So congratulations and many good wishes, Kathleen. I now have the distinct honor of introducing Dr. Karen Colley. Dr. Colley has served as UIC's acting provost and vice chancellor for academic affairs since June of 2022, and this is actually her second time serving in this capacity. Prior to this, she served as dean of the Graduate College since 2012. As a professor of biochemistry and molecular genetics in the College of Medicine, Dr. Colley also serves as the director of the Portal to Biomedical Research Careers Post-Baccalaureate Research Education Program, that's a lot of words, and Pipeline to an Inclusive Faculty Program, and as the editor-in-chief for the journal Glycobiology, which I have not published in. Since joining UIC in 1991, she has been recognized as a university scholar, co-founded and led the first umbrella graduate program at UIC, and served as the associate director of the Medical Scientist Training Program. Dr. Colley received her bachelor's degree in chemistry from Duke University and her PhD in biochemistry from Washington University, St. Louis. She later continued her training in cell and molecular biology as an NIH-funded postdoctoral fellow at UCLA. So please join me in welcoming Provost Colley.
Thank you so much, Dean White. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy to be with you here today to celebrate this incredible group of graduates. Seated before us this afternoon is a graduating class unlike any that has come before them, and today is their long-awaited and much-deserved celebration of all they've accomplished and the new adventures before them. And I think we've already given them a round of applause, but in my script I say we do it again. They deserve it. One more time. Thank you all for coming today to help mark this special occasion. And I would like to extend a special thank you and warm welcome to our keynote speaker, Gia Biaggi, Commissioner of the Chicago Department of Transportation. To the families, friends, and loved ones of the graduate here this afternoon, thank you. Not being here just to mark this special occasion, but also, and more importantly, for being an invaluable source of support for these students during their time here. Quite simply, these students would not have done it without you. So thank you so much. An immense thank you to the many professors, mentors, advisors, and staff in the College of Urban Planning and Public Affairs and at UIC whose support for and belief in These students has helped them navigate, triumph over, and most importantly, learn from the challenges they faced in these last few years. Hey, graduates, you've made it. Woo! Alongside your friends, classmates, research partners, and collaborators, you've achieved something truly remarkable, and you should be exceptionally proud. While all students face obstacles during their studies, you have not only endured and overcome the disruptions and losses that occurred in your lives and our communities during the pandemic, but you have also demanded and continue to fight for a more just and inclusive world for generations that will come after you. And all of you have left your own unique mark on our university and the world. Your legacy at UIC is one of resilience, a commitment to pursuit of knowledge, and radical care for each other and your communities. UIC has become a greater institution because of the contributions you have made. And on behalf of everyone here today, thank you for letting us be a part of your academic journey and your success. No matter where life may lead you next, know that you're forever a part of UIC's community and that you're always welcome here. And more than that, please continue to come back, visit, share your successes with us, volunteer, contribute, and help us inspire and support the students who follow you. So who are these people in the graduating class of 2023? This afternoon, we have 3 doctoral students, 100 master's degree students, and 30 undergraduate students, all of them exceptional and headed to promising futures as leaders, innovators, and scholars, planners and designers who will shape the future of our cities and in turn our world. In almost no time, your lives will change forever. You will soon walk across the stage and become alumni of the University of Illinois Chicago, new members in a long legacy of leaders, innovators, and scholars. So this new chapter in your life may bring a mix of emotions. You're probably very excited today, but also a little bit anxious. But unlike your first days on campus, you will now move forward equipped with new tools to succeed. The wisdom, the lessons learned, skills honed, and networks of support that you have built in your time in the College of Urban Planning and Public Affairs and at UIC. These will be the keys to your success and the success of those around you. I want you to encourage you to seize the opportunities before you and to keep growing and learning. Do not shy away from challenges and taking those unexpected paths, for you never know where they might lead. I joined UIC as an assistant professor 32 years ago, and I could never have imagined that I would be standing here before you in the position I'm in now. I've had many mentors along the way. They've encouraged me, provided opportunities for me, and challenged me. But one of my greatest mentors and supporters was my father, who would stop me in my tracks every time I started to complain about a challenge or an obstacle and say, "But look at how much you are learning." And that was pretty annoying for a long time. But after the millionth time, I realized he was on to something. So in this spirit, I ask you not to shy away from taking risks and facing challenges. View them as learning experiences. Keep moving forward. Each of you has so much to give. You never know where your path will take you, but I'm convinced that all of you will make this world a better place. And so finally, class of 2023, congratulations once more. We are tremendously proud of each and every one of you.
Thank you so much, Provost Colley. And now we're further honored today to have as our guest speaker, Master of Urban Planning and Policy alumna Gia Biaggi. Gia was appointed head of the Chicago Department of Transportation, or CDOT, by Mayor Lori Lightfoot in December 2019. The mayor charged her with implementing a vision for a transportation system that prioritizes equity and mobility and works to lower economic and environmental burden of transportation on residents and communities. As commissioner of CDOT, Gia oversees the department responsible for Chicago's roadways and bridges, sidewalks and bike lanes, traffic signals and signage, streetlights, the permitting of activities in the public right-of-way, the citywide bike sharing system, and policies focused on complete streets, climate adaptation, and new mobility. Her work includes the development of the city's strategic plan for transportation, the Chicago Cycling Strategy, and implementation of Mayor Lightfoot's Chicago Works infrastructure program. She's very busy, and we are very lucky to have her with us today. Before she answered this call to public service for the city, Gia was a principal at Studio Gang Architects, which is one of the world's leading architecture and urban design firm led by renowned architect Jeannie Gang. And I'm sure some of you have admired some of those structures across our beautiful city. At Studio Gang, Gia's work centered on how to move forward equity, mutuality, and positive change in cities by working with a range of partners, including community-based organizations, cultural institutions, developers, government, and other public and private groups and individuals. Prior to that, Gia spent more than a decade in public service at the Chicago Park District in roles that included Director of Planning and Development and Chief of Staff. She received, we're very proud of this, received her Master of Urban Planning and Policy degree from UIC and her Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Michigan. So please join me in a warm welcome for Gia Biagi.
Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yeah, how about it, right? It's a beautiful day in Chicago. Thank you so much for having me here today. It's an honor, it's a privilege. I'm humbled by the invitation. Thank you, Dean, for inviting me to be here today. You've heard it a couple times already, that we want you to look around the room. Look at your fellow students, faculty, the staff, your parents, your loved ones, your friends and family here today. In this room is a pretty incredible community of people. And this community, we have your back. We are rooting for you, and we are here, not just today, we are here for you. So when you combine what you've done to get here today, and you match that with all of the people in this room, you have what you need. You have what you need. What you need to make a difference in this world. What you probably don't need is a lot more advice. But the thing about days like this, you can't escape it. A lot of advice. Some is good, some is bad, some is questionable. But maybe a little more won't hurt you. Good, bad, or otherwise. So one of my favorite novelists is Haruki Murakami. And he wrote the Wind-Up Bird Chronicles. It's like this incredible swirling work of complexity and beauty about the human condition. But he has a lesser-known work that's quite direct. Now, if you're a runner, you'll know it. It's called What I Talk About When I Talk About Running. So for Murakami, running is a constant. It's stitched into his life, in and around the writing, in and around the everyday. It's into and through it. And for me, the constant in my life that is stitched to what I do, whether I like it or not, it's public service. Whether I'm in government or not, it is a constant, no matter where I happen to be. So today, I will share with you, like Murakami, only about public service. What I talk about when I talk about public service. So before this stint as Transportation Commissioner, and you heard I was at Studio Gang, and I spent a lot of time actually in Memphis, working on a site plan to reimagine the Mississippi River waterfront. So if you've been down to Memphis, you know the river runs right along the downtown. And it is fast, it is furious. If you fall in it, in about 10 minutes you wake up in the Gulf of Mexico. Like it is like a super highway, only it's got barges on it. So the waterfront that's next to that river edge, it's barren, it's treeless, it's hot, it's impersonal, it's muted. It's not inviting at all. So the idea here was to engage all of Memphis in developing a vision for a civic place that is utterly transformational, a waterfront that tells Memphians stories, that reflects on their identities, aspirations, all the great stuff, right? We want that in every project. So, but the whole time we're working down there, having these great conversations with Memphians, talking about the future, making plans and drawings, really great looking stuff, the mayor, Mayor Strickland, was tirelessly on Twitter tweeting about potholes. Potholes the whole time. Now, this is before I knew I'd be head of a pretty large city Department of Transportation, and potholes were in my future every day, an inordinate amount of time. And this was back when Twitter was slightly less bad for democracy. The blue check mark, it actually meant something. And no one thought that a CEO of a car company was going to step in and make something that was already kind of awful even worse. But I digress. So I asked the mayor, what is with all these pothole tweets? There's like, you don't even get snow. There's no freeze thaw. What's going on here? And he said to me, look, if we're going to do something as transformational as reimagining the riverfront, we had better be brilliant at the basics. Brilliant at the basics. And what he meant was, in order to do the really big things, those transformational things, the things that leave a legacy, that change the way people feel about their city, and that change a city forever, we have to do the small things and do them brilliantly. We have to do the boring things, the mundane things, the things you don't get any credit for. It's not glamorous, it's a grind, often thankless, and only noticed if it's not done. Believe me, I know. But these small things, these are the building blocks for the big things. These are the tasks that are no fun, but they are foundational. If you can't fill the potholes, if you can't keep the lights on, if you can't pick up the garbage, how can you deliver on the ideas that move the needle on justice and prosperity, on equity? How can you get anyone to believe you that you can? How can you get anyone to trust you? So it's a matter of both agency and credibility. So be brilliant. You're brilliant, I know it, in all the ways you know how. But don't forget to be brilliant at the basics. And don't tweet your potholes at me. Just see me afterwards. I'll be in the hallway. So it's not going to be a shock here. It should be no surprise to anyone in this room, especially the folks right here, that public service is hard. It's rewarding, but it is hard. No matter where you go in public service, it's challenging. And I will say, it's especially challenging in this town, in Chicago, because everyone is organized, and that is a good thing. I have a friend who likes to say that in Chicago, community organizing, it's a blood sport. And sometimes it feels that way. There's a quote from the boxer Mike Tyson, you probably heard it. He says, everyone has a, or probably a more high pitch, everyone has a, no, he says, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. What does that mean? It means that for all your planning, things can happen that you don't expect, that are disruptive, that hurt, that can force you to change direction. Maybe you've heard of a thing called a COVID pandemic. That's a punch in the face. But public service can be like that. We city planners, we're walking around with our plans, and then we get punched in the face, sometimes every day. And it can be hard to pick up the pieces. It's hard to keep the spirits up. And it's hard to not become cynical in the face of criticism, in the face of reality. It's hard to not become indifferent to the real emotion, the tension. It's inherent in our work. It's because this work, and the work that you will do, it matters. And what we cannot become is cynical or indifferent. It limits the potential of what we can do together. So, in the face of that, I'm asking you to hold on to your optimism. Hold on to it. So what you're feeling today, we're excited, right? It's in your chest, that hope, the energy, the excitement, the optimism. Wrap your arms around it. Scoop it up. Put it in a little jar. Put a lid on that jar. Put a label on that jar, something like a jar of optimism. Put it on a shelf, because you're going to need it. You're going to need it in the face of all of that tension, all of those challenges. There will be hard days ahead, but the work is worth it. And if you go to that jar and you find that it's empty, sometimes it does get empty, we, the community in this room, we are here for you, and we will help you fill it back up. So I can tell, there's a lot of wordsmithing, a lot of advice here. I can tell you're ready to go, right? Or at least ready for me to stop talking. You want to get out there into the world. You want to sprint. And you will sprint. And sprint. And sprint. And for a while. And then you realize when you're out of breath, it's not a sprint. And you'll think, of course, it's a marathon. And you'll run a marathon, and another marathon, and another marathon, many marathons ahead. And you'll realize it's not a marathon either. I'll tell you what it is. It's a relay. When I think about Murakami, and I think about running, when I think about my life in public service, when I look at you on this threshold, at this moment of transition, I know that it is a relay. And in a relay race, you must pass the baton. That's exactly how it works. That's the only way it works. So you are at this threshold moment today. Your city is at a threshold moment, a major transition. If you haven't heard, maybe you're not on Twitter, maybe you're in some deep Discord server, and God bless you for that. But in a matter of a few days, we will have a new mayor. The baton, it will be passed. It will be passed. Well, so as a city official in the current cabinet, you and I have a few things in common at the moment. Everybody's asking, what are you going to do next? Do you even have a job, right? I feel you. Some of those guys were pinning me down in the hallway. But I believe in passing the baton, especially in public service, especially in leadership. No one person, no one moment is bigger than all the work we have to do together. If we are going to do those transformational things, the hard things, if we are going to end generational poverty, if we are going to house the unhoused, if we are going to pursue racial justice and mobility hardship, tackle the climate crisis, no one person, no one administration, no one institution can do it alone or even on time. There's never enough time on one person's watch for all the wrongs to be made right. There's never enough time on one person's watch for all the aspirations to be met. There's never enough time on one person's watch for the ground to meet all the shovels. So be brilliant. Hold on to your optimism, because today, on this day, on this stage, in this room, this community that surrounds you, that supports you, will lift you. They will fill you up. And we, on this day, we pass the baton. And you have what you need. In a community of people in this room, we have your back. We are rooting for you. We are here for you. And what do you do with that? Now, it's all up to you. Congratulations, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Gia. I'm going right home and making my jar of optimism. As a small token of our deep gratitude and admiration for you, I'd like to give you this little gift. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, one of the wardrobe malfunction. We'll move now to our recognition of honors. So UIC recognizes graduates who've distinguished themselves in various ways during their academic careers. So if I could ask the following students to please rise and remain standing. Graduates who've been members of the Honor College as designated by gold stoles that you are wearing. Melody A. Slaughter. Marisa Nicole Miles. And Anna Valerie Pervu. Graduates with high academic achievements, summa cum laude, magna cum laude, and cum laude is designated by the gold, silver, and bronze cords that you wear. Summa cum laude, Eifel Contreras Bayaban, Avi Bernard Donals, Cynthia Janet Huerta Chagoyan, Rebecca Perlman, Alexandra M. Rank, magna cum laude, Wiley W. Crowther, Catherine M. Janensky, Marisa Nicole Miles, Melody A. Slaughter. And cum laude, Cynthia Marie Cardenas, Miriam D. Guerrero, Ana Lynn, Brandon Murillo, and Roxana Torres. Everyone, please join me in applauding these outstanding honors graduates. Thank you, and you can be seated. On to awards. Many of you have demonstrated exceptional academic achievement or leadership as students, and I'd like to recognize the graduating recipients of our 2 departmental achievement awards. I ask each of them to stand and be recognized. Dina Katana and Alex Hawley of our Public Policy, Management, and Analytics Department are recipients of the American Society for Public Administration's Dean Eitel Outstanding Graduate Student Award. Melanie Slaughter of our Public Policy, Management, and Analytics Department is recipient of the Chancellor's Student Service Award. Bailey Werner, Alexandra Pollack, Emily Etzkorn, Michael Cullen, and Wenpo Shu of our Urban Planning and Policy Department are recipients of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Innovation and Affordable Housing Student Design and Planning Competition. Congratulations to all of you. Wonderful. You can be seated. And I will turn it back over to Kurt Winkle.
Will Graduate College Assistant Dean Jamie Haney please come forward and present candidates for the graduate degrees to the provost.
Provost Colley, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Candidates, please rise if you are able.
Upon these recommendations and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the Doctor of Philosophy degree for which you have been presented and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree.
You may move your tassel to the left side. Congratulations. Please be seated. Candidates for master's degrees, please rise if you are able. Provost Colley, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degrees of Master of City Design, Master of Civic Analytics, Master of Public Administration, Master of Public Policy, and Master of Urban Planning and Policy.
Upon these recommendations and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the master's degree for which you have been presented and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree.
You may move your tassels to the left side. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Dean Swearigan White will present candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degrees in Public Policy and Urban Studies.
All right, candidates for the bachelor's degrees, please rise as you are able. Provost Colley, upon the recommendation of the faculty and vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Upon these recommendations and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the Bachelor of Arts degree for which you've been presented, and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree.
You may move those tassels to the left side. Congratulations. All right, graduates, please be seated. So as Gia so eloquently shared, commencement implies a transition in the life of a student, a transition from being a student to being one of our alumni, a member of an ever-growing constituency of Kappa alumni who play an important role in furthering educational opportunities for others and advancing the mission and objectives of the college and the university. The College of Urban Planning and Public Affairs is so fortunate to have so many committed alumni. One of these wonderful graduates, Michael Sewell, is with us today. Michael is the outgoing president of the Kappa Alumni Association and has been active with the organization since 2017 when he graduated with his Master of Urban Planning and Policy degree. Michael works for the City of Chicago as the Constituent Services Director for Alderman Matt Martin in the 47th Ward, where Michael lives in Ravenswood with his wife Ray and their children Charlotte and Samuel. In addition to his work with the Alumni Association, Michael stays active in his community as a volunteer leader with the Ravenswood Neighborhood Association, Montrose Metra Community Gardens, and the 47th Ward Green Council. So welcome and thank you, Michael.
Hi, everyone. For the past 2 years, I have had the honor and pleasure of serving as president of the Kappa Alumni Association. And now that my term is ending, I've had time to reflect on why I got so involved in the first place and what I've gotten out of it. And actually, 6 years ago to the day, I was up on this very stage addressing my peers at my commencement from the MUP program. And I really attribute both times I've been given this incredible opportunity to address commencement, both through my own and today, to the incredible community that Kappa builds and the sense of service and the call to service that is instilled in all of us as we go through this program. About 10 years ago, I was working as a journalist and decided to leave that job without anything else lined up at the time. I didn't know what I was going to do, and I looked around. I did not have a community that I could turn to and a network I could lean on to share job recommendations or ideas, to speak in favor of me to potential employers. So I started looking at what I could do, and I sought out community, and I started volunteering in my own community, getting very involved with things like bike and pedestrian advocacy, and ended up meeting a couple of guys who were in the MUP program at the time. I had never really considered urban planning as a profession, but their values and what they spoke about in terms of what they were learning in this program really spoke to me, and I decided in 2015 to come here to Kappa and to UIC. And I immediately found community here, made friendships that have lasted 6 years and I imagine a lifetime ahead of us. I got very involved with the Urban Planning and Policy Student Association, UPSA, and served as president during my second year in the MUP program, and through that found more and more ways to build community among the cohort of students, whether it was putting on the Urban Innovation Symposium or doing our legendary transit-oriented drinks. We found ways to support one another here at Kappa. And I also became amazed as I got to know my fellow students, amazed by all of the ways that they were involved in various organizations throughout the city and in their own communities. I really got to see the strength of the cohort of students that come through this college and the power that we can build when we all work together. So having that experience with UPSA and building these friendships and communities led me to want to get involved with the Kappa Alumni Association. So I did that right after graduating and joined the board in 2017, and I am now leaving after my 2-year term as president here. I continued to give back multiple reasons. I think, as I said, when I was leaving my job as a journalist and didn't have that community or that network, I do think that you, as you move forward, can be your own best advocates and find ways, when you don't know how the job market will always turn out, find ways to put yourself in front of others and show how hard you can work and show them the talents and skills that you've developed here at CUPPA. And that's why I've remained very involved in my community. So I hope that as you move forward with this degree in hand and the skills you have developed and the communities that you've built, that you nurture those communities. Whether it is with our CUPPA Alumni Association, we'd love to have you involved, but if it is finding your corner of your community, your block, your home, and ways to continue to build those communities and answer that call for service, that has served me well, many of my cohort well, and it will continue to serve you well if you keep that in mind, to build that community and answer that call to service. So on the note of getting involved with the Alumni Association, if you'd like to continue to build a community within CUPPA, we remain very active. We have our next board meeting next Tuesday, May 9th in CUPPA and on Zoom, and I hope that we'll see some of you there. But I know from going through this program as well that you guys are going to accomplish incredible things, and as long as you stick to those principles of building community and answering that call to service, which I think you all have by coming to this program and making it through in the first place. So with that, I wish you the best, and again, congratulations to the class of 2023.
Thank you very much, Michael. And did you all hear that? You can get involved as early as next Tuesday evening, Alumni Association meeting. You're invited. Now I have the great pleasure of introducing the first of our two 2023 student commencement speakers who just officially joined the ranks of our alumni. Our first student speaker, Anna Purvu, is graduating with a bachelor's degree majoring in urban studies. A native Chicagoan, Anna discovered the Urban Studies program at UIC during a visit her senior year of high school and found that through the program, she was able to channel her passion and drive for public service into her academics and future career path. Having had a multitude of diverse internships and other experiences within urban planning, she's looking to carry all her knowledge and skills with her into graduate school and her career. Outside of CUPPA, Anna is very busy. An artist, a poet, a musician, and a rugby player. Please join me in welcoming her to the podium.
Hello. Prose is not always my strongest suit. Thus, this is a poem written in my pursuit. To give a speech in which I was asked to transmute the CUPPA student experience, one of great repute. What good is the boat when mud fills the moat? Good it is still, for the planks can be used as fill. All it takes is a little will, and eventually out the mud and over the hill. It takes not many to find this out, but it takes a very special amount, a special few who are set apart, these special few with their exceptional heart. While some may work their biceps or their calves, the heart is the muscle which crosses all paths, all finish lines, all races, all that must be done, for the heart is the one that must continue on. The heart is the muscle driving it all. Without it, one cannot give a tussle. Not at all. A round table can sit up to 100, even when only 12 names are mentioned. Chairs are filled by people who strive to be serving. This table seeks not to be select, but rather to select the deserving. No one can guess the amount that will exceed the curve, thus a table with room for anyone whose heart seeks to serve. The few, the proud, as some may say, this we embody in our own very way. a subject which upholds the frameworks of cities, one seeming niche yet offering a variety of degrees. As a skeleton, this framework too is rather hidden, but to those who know it, rewarding again and again. A subject sometimes hard to explain to our family and strangers who ask of our study, but a place where no shape to work with is too absurd, a place where community is spoken more than any other word. But it is lived through so wholly, we are the word's home, a community to fall into, lighter than foam. Passion and love drives all of our professions and academics, and people and environment are true building blocks rather than bricks. Here and I have relayed part of our collective experience, but to leave I yield with asking all to stay curious. There reaches an age where people stop speaking in codes, and you understand them because it's a language you know. Whether we are or aren't at that age, I know not, but I preach do not dote. We are not seasonal. We need time to grow. Thank you.
That was fabulous. Thank you so much, Anna. Our next speaker, Rachel Everson, graduates today with a Master in Public Administration and a self-directed concentration in community development, focusing on cultural affairs. Rachel came to UIC by way of a career in nonprofit fundraising for arts and cultural organizations, including regional theaters and most recently, the Chicago Public Library Foundation. From June of 2022 to May of 2023, Rachel was honored to have been selected and served as a mayoral fellow for the city of Chicago. During this time, Rachel researched and helped launch new creative industry workforce development programs with the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, provided strategic assessment and policy recommendations for the Cultural Center's Visual Arts Exhibition Program, and supported various other initiatives such as digital equity and Chicago Public Library's 150th anniversary. After graduation, Rachel is thrilled to be joining the Chicago Park District's planning team and to continue their career connecting Chicagoans to cultural resources and recreation. Rachel would like to thank her mother, community, and classmates for their support, and everyone for being here today. Rachel.
Hey, y'all. How we doing? Yeah, it's good. It's good, right? Before we begin, I want to invite you all to join me in taking a collective breath. Thank you. To say that it is merely an honor to stand before you as one of your selected commencement speakers for 2023 would be to cheat the opportunity that I have been given. When I was first asked to be one of your speakers, my initial reaction was, why? Like, why me? What do I have to offer? And behind the shock was a feeling that I've become intimately familiar with throughout my graduate school career. I began my journey as a graduate student in the height of the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown in 2020. As a theater artist with undergraduate degrees in acting and creative writing, I recall a deep sense of anxiety that overtook me during that first semester. Who was I to sit on Zoom in these classes and discuss policy or debate the effectiveness of government during such an extreme time in our shared history with very little direct experience in the field? What was my contribution or purpose in public service supposed to be? What I felt in those first few weeks was the same feeling that rose to greet me when I received the invitation to speak. Fear. Fear that I was not good enough, smart enough, or the right person for the job. Yet it was during that first semester that I turned to my fellow classmates for inspiration. Through them, I found what would carry me from academia and into this next stage of my career: trust. I came to graduate school with a passion for arts and culture, an idea that maybe there was a connection to the ways in which our built environment could be healthier through the arts. Because of the passion of my peers, I was inspired to follow this thread, this little beacon of trust, and I found the field of cultural affairs. I found colleagues with the same interests and drive that wakes me up each morning. I found the impact that I was searching for and my place in public service. As I wrote this speech, I knew that I didn't want to stand before you and try to wax poetic about the possibilities of the future or try to impart some great wisdom, because I am not that wise. Instead, just as before, I turned to all of you for inspiration. I asked you what excites you as we collectively step out of academia. What are you afraid of? How do you feel? You are excited to take your hard-earned skills into the workplace and contribute to your communities, to have hobbies and a full brain capacity again. You are celebrating lifelong friendships, professional and academic partnerships, relishing new perspective, nuance, and aspirations. Leaving Cuppa is challenging to you, but you fear nothing. You are not afraid. You are accomplished and prepared, and you know that. You've learned to release fear and anxiety and give way to trust, because you are not just leaving with a piece of paper today, you are leaving with a purpose. I stand before you because I have spent the last few years becoming impassioned, emboldened, and empowered, sitting in classes and lectures and listening to you pour yourselves into your own potential. So I hope that you leave here today with a rooted sense of trust in yourselves. Because as public servants, we do not always get to choose when we are called to lead. Sometimes the job chooses for us, and that is the nature of this beast. But if in those moments you find that you cannot believe in yourself, know that I stand before you today to say that I believe in each and every single one of you. So go. Do the work. And do it well. You know you can. Thank you.
Well, we now come to what is undoubtedly the most exciting high point, I think, of our commencement, and that's recognition of our graduates. Your name recording will play as you cross the stage, and in the event of a technical difficulty, I will read your name. After you've crossed the stage, please return to your seat and remain seated for the remainder of the ceremony. Would Dr. Theodore please proceed to the diploma table to distribute diplomas to your department's graduates. Recipients of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Public Administration, please stand and come forward if you're able onto the platform and face the audience. Your faculty advisor will present the hood that symbolizes your new academic status. First will be Alejandra Medina Carrero. Her dissertation is titled Ebb and Flow in Collaborative Networks, a longitudinal analysis of network formation and evolution, and her advisor is Dr. Michael Siciliano. Our next graduate is Jose Sanchez Cetina. His dissertation is titled Alone in the Crowd, Central Cities and Their Role in Service Delivery Networks. His advisor is Dr. Jared Carr. And finally, Saaman Shafiq. Her dissertation is titled Publicness in Networks, and her advisor is Dr. Michael Siciliano. Graduates with master's degrees, please stand and come forward if you are able to be recognized. Masters,
Gerardo Ramirez Jr.
these will be candidates for the Masters of Public Administration.
Mariana Marlene Mercado. Kathy Nguyen.
Zaria Green. Kyle Friedler.
Michael Tanis.
Dalton Anthony Kay. Rachel Everson.
Masters of Public Policy.
Yanitza Alexis Roman.
Alexander M. Hawley. Joanne Lee. Brianna John. Dina Katana.
Masters of Civic Analytics.
Amalia E. Carrillo. Dina Katana. Yaza Go. Shejun Zhang.
Mimi Stern.
Brian R. Kuczynski.
Masters of City Design.
Mimi Stern.
Shashwat Arya. Abdullah Kamal Chowdhury. Wen Po Su.
Chanvani Manjrekar. Ayush Pramod Patel. Dinesh Prasad. Ravi Thakur. Neha Nagendra Tunga. Punya Vats. Sarah Zandi.
Masters of Urban Planning and Policy.
Carla Valdez.
Atifa Ghaznawi. Maggie Coachman. Johanna Blanco. Rebecca Dawn DeLara. Emily N. Bettler. Gabrielle Jean Cole. Darko Bojan. Sam J. Carlson. Paul Kenny.
Bailey Werner. Jenna Pollock.
Ann M. Jansen.
Wally Junosov.
Natasha Felicita Brown. Ryan A. Fulgham.
Haley I. Sanders.
Adam Davis. Alexanders Kaspars Jansemis. Raul Justo. Isabel Betulia Araujo.
Alexandra Pollock. Mihir Sharish Saraf.
Hamali R. Chingale. Matthew Evan Kalasny. Patrick T. Hoffman. Jin Jiang.
Gwansa Nikolaishvili.
Heli Dobagia. Rolando Negro.
Juan Daniel Garcia.
Flora Petitión. Cristina Lucio. Jocelyn Rodriguez. Amir Hamza. Kurat Heder. Carlo Velasco. Basma Nindi. Sebastian Villa Rodriguez. Brandon Nelson. James Sullivan. Isaac Gamaron.
Brandon E. Patterson.
There we go. Yeah.
Alec Weston Singer. Henry E. Seagull.
Bianca Joseph. Brad Mitchell Iwicki.
Daniel Roberts.
Maxwell Ryan Budrus Kerr Hackman.
Michaela Rose Udfolk.
Suyun Jong.
Megan L. Miller.
Julia Nazi Hodge. Nushin Javidi. Hannah Rose Farley. Grace Hebert. Molly Elizabeth Delaney. Fiona Catherine Kennedy.
Jules Voigt.
Patrick Bruce Birdsong.
Graduates with the Bachelor of Arts degrees, please stand and come forward if you are able to be recognized. Bachelor of Arts, Public Policy. Amari Nikkei.
Ishmael Nkrumah Sharif.
Wiley W. Crowther.
Alia Oren.
Raymond Barrera.
Cynthia Janet Huerta Chagoyen.
Rebecca Perlman. Sienna Tompkins. Anna Valerie Purvu.
Ariel Cervera.
Marissa Nicole Miles.
Bachelor of Arts, Architectural Studies. Mara Eads. Bachelor of Arts, Public Policy.
Isabella Jaimes. Ben Karp.
Karen Morales.
Eiffel Contreras Bayaban. Sarah I. Crab. Anna Lynn. Bradley Howard.
Alexandra M. Rank.
Cynthia Marie Cardenas.
Wilma Jasmine Beatrice Mendoza. Brandon Murillo.
Caroline Christina Barrett. Abby Bernard Donalds.
Melody A. Slaughter.
Tao.
Yay! All right. As we wrap up, I would like to thank all of the UIC staff and our CUPPA staff whose efforts really helped make today possible. Our staff contributes so much to the function of our huge and complex institution, and we really owe them a debt of gratitude for their service. I especially want to thank Jody White-Jones. I don't know if she's out here, but her hard work is behind every good thing and every smooth transition that you have experienced in this ceremony. So thank you. So today is a day of celebration. We're honoring all the work and perseverance that brought us together. We realize that the last few years have included not just your hard work and your successes, but also hardship and loss. While your joy today may be a little bit intertwined with grief at times, all of you here have shown resilience, and for that, you should be very proud. You did it. So let's move forward together with a shared commitment to the work of our college, promoting just, resilient, and livable communities, and really making the world a better place. Please stay in touch Stay in touch with each other. Stay in touch with CUPPA and with us. We'll always be very happy to see you. So come on back to campus and visit when you can. Please, above all, stay curious and do great things. We know you're prepared to do just that. One last thank you and congratulations to all our graduates.
Congratulations to all our graduates. Let's give our new graduates another round of applause. They deserve it. At the conclusion of today's ceremony, the audience and graduates are asked to remain seated until the platform party and faculty have recessed. If graduates are so willing, cap and gown recycling donation boxes are backstage for your contributions. If you prefer to recycle your gown at a later date, drop it off at the dean's office in CUPPA Hall. Please exercise caution when leaving the forum and parking areas this afternoon. In conclusion, congratulations to the graduates and all of the family and friends on this memorable day. Professors Carr and Theodore, please lift the banners and lead the party platform. The 2023 commencement of the College of Urban Planning and Public Affairs at the University of Illinois at Chicago is now adjourned.